The sun hovered lazily over the rooftops of Omaya Village as Chioma folded the last of her clothes into the worn traveling bag. Her mother paced outside the compound, her wrapper tied loosely and eyes filled with a blend of pride and fear. Chioma had finally graduated with a second-class upper in accounting, and tomorrow she was leaving for Abuja to live with her uncle. There she hoped for better days. As she zipped the bag, her father Okonkwo entered the room quietly. His face bore the heavy expression of a man who had watched others rise while he remained shackled to poverty. His voice was low, serious. "Chioma," he said, "come and sit down." She obeyed. He stared at her face, the same resemblance to his mother, fierce, brilliant, and stubborn. "You're going to join your uncle in the city. Getting a job that pays you well enough to care for your mother, me and your siblings won't be easy. But hear me and hear me well." He leaned closer. "It is not only the lazy child that leaves the village and returns with nothing. Do you know we are among the few still living in this mud house? All our neighbors have their children building them mansions. Will I die in shame?" Chioma opened her mouth to speak, but he raised his hand. "You will make money quickly. It is your duty. Your mother and I have done our part. You will do yours." "I understand, Papa," she said. "I will try my best." But Okonkwo wasn't done. "Remove your blouse," he ordered. Chioma stared, confused. "Papa, I said remove it." He pulled out a new razor blade and a small clay pot with a thick, dark substance. Her heart pounded. She knew of such rituals, used in desperation, whispered about in corners of the markets. "Bend over," he said, his voice like gravel. She obeyed. With trembling fingers, he drew 3 sharp lines across her back. Blood trickled down as she bit her lips to keep from screaming. He dipped his fingers into the black paste and rubbed it into the wounds. "You can now go and excel," he said, breathless. "From today, great men will follow you. They will give you everything. In 6 months, you must build us a house." Chioma's heart twisted in confusion. This was not how she expected to leave home. Abuja buzzed with life. The cars, the lights, the endless buildings. It was nothing like Omaya. Chioma stepped out of the bus station into the arms of her uncle, Mr. Ozemena, a well-respected civil servant who had worked his way to the top with no shortcuts. "You look tired," he smiled, helping her with her bag. The estate they entered was quiet and polished. Children rode bicycles and security guards greeted them with nods. She had never seen anything like it. Her room was small but cozy, and on the table was a folder containing 3 printouts of her CV. "I already sent them to 3 reputable accounting firms," Uncle Echezona said. "Prepare for interviews this week." "Thank you, sir." That night, she dreamt of a woman placing bundles of money on her lap, whispering, "They will obey you." She woke up with her back itching. Chioma's first interview was at Alpha Core Accountants, a sleek firm in the heart of Abuja. She dressed in her best blouse and skirt and wore a calm, confident smile. The interview was brief but intense. To her surprise, they called her back within hours. "You've got the job," the HR manager said. 180,000 naira per month starting. "Welcome aboard." She beamed. Her first real job. That night, she called her father. "Papa, I got a job. They will pay me 180,000 naira monthly." The father kept mute for some time and then hissed. "What kind of insult is that? 180,000 naira? Can you build me a house in 6 months with that nonsense?" "But Papa, it's just the start." "Start what? I didn't give you power to carry CVs up and down. Remember why you went there. Your real job is to hunt. His words sat heavy in her chest. That night, she stared at her reflection and whispered, "Let's begin then." It started innocently. A married man in her estate offered to buy her airtime. Another left a gift bag at the doorstep. By the end of her first month, 3 men, all married, were sending her money every week. They said she reminded them of a youthful spark, but Chioma knew better. Their attention grew obsessive. They begged for her time, showered her with money, gifts, gadgets, even a car. When one of them asked what she wanted, she replied, "A plot of land." He gave her 2. Soon she was earning from her admirers than from work. They were CEOs, directors, oil workers. They told her things they never told their wives. One day her colleague whispered, "How do you do it? These men follow you like you're their queen." She smiled, but in her heart, she felt something gone. Something too quiet to name. Amaka had been married to Chief Ikenna for 15 years. Their marriage had been peaceful, even joyful. But suddenly, her husband became distant, cold, constantly smiling at his phone. He stopped talking during dinner. He went on business trips every weekend. And when she asked questions, he would explode. One evening, she confronted him after reading a bank alert of 4 million naira. "Who is she, Ikenna?" He didn't flinch. "She's the one I've waited for all my life. I'm even considering marrying her." Amaka's world collapsed. "You want to bring another woman into my house? I give you money, cars, everything. What more do you want from me? She brings me peace. If you don't like it, you can leave." Amaka cried for days. One night, she knelt in her bedroom, tears soaking the pillow. "God," she whispered, "whosoever this woman is, strip her of whatever she's using. Let her shame be public. I will pray till you answer me." That night, in a corner of the estate, Chioma's back burned. Chioma knew the charm was working. She no longer had to try hard. Men chased her like bees to honey. Even the ones she ignored doubled their efforts. The strange thing was how controlled they were, blind to consequences, loyal to her every command. By the 3rd month, she had added a duplex in Guzape to her name. And her father beamed on the phone as she sent pictures of the completed bungalow in their village. "Noun, go higher," he said. "These men can give you shares in companies. Aim for men with influence. Take more from them." She smiled and replied, "I already know my next prey." His name was Engineer Afolabi, an estate developer known for owning half of the luxury properties in Abuja. She had seen him drive into her uncle's estate in a black G-Wagon, tall, fit, and full of presence. He was every woman's dream, and Chioma knew she would have him. But something happened that day. As he passed by her gate, she greeted him softly with her usual charm-laced smile. He nodded and said, "Good evening," and drove past. No second glance, no spark, nothing. Chioma tried again. This time, she made sure to be at the gate at 7:30 a.m. when Engineer Afolabi usually left for work. She wore a short-fitted Ankara dress that hugged her body. When he drove past, she greeted with a subtle wave, even swayed her lips slightly. He gave a faint smile and kept driving. She stared in disbelief. Every other man, why not him? At work, she couldn't focus. She looked him up online. He was indeed married. His wife, a lawyer based in Lagos, but frequently visited. They had 3 children. Still, this one wasn't above love or romance. It was about control. He had to fall. That night, She ran her fingers across the 3 scars on her back and whispered, "Work again." A week later, she spotted him outside his house, locking his gate. She walked toward him confidently. "Good morning, sir." He looked up. "Good morning. Are you driving toward Wuse?" "Yes. May I join you? I'm running late." He hesitated for a second, then opened the passenger door. "Sure." In the car, Chioma made subtle conversation. Her perfume filled the air, her tone soft, calculated. "So, your wife stays in Lagos?" she asked, watching his eyes in the mirror. He raised a brow. "She's around for now. She travels often for work." She smiled. She must be really supportive. She is. She's also a praying woman. The West slapped her lightly. She chuckled, hiding her unease. "You must get a lot of attention from women," she teased. "I do," he admitted, "but I don't respond. I've seen too much distraction from careless indulgence." Chioma tried to speak again, but something in his voice shut her down. As he dropped her off, she said, "Thanks for the ride." He nodded. "Be careful who you entertain in this city. Many are beautiful devils." She froze. Her fingers twitched. Did he know? That night, Chioma couldn't sleep. Her back throbbed violently. It wasn't the usual charm activation. This was pain, pure consuming pain. She removed her blouse and looked at the mirror. The 3 scar lines were darker than before, raised, and almost looked like they were moving. She called her father in panic. "Papa, my back, it's burning." "Did you break the rules?" he asked, suddenly alarmed. "I tried to seduce the man, but he's different. It didn't work. He's married to a praying woman." The father kept mute for some time. "You should have avoided such men," he said coldly. "Spiritual barriers are dangerous. Their wives' prayers can reverse things." "I didn't know. You must leave that man alone. Do not cross his path again." But it was too late. The following day, 3 of the men who had been sending her money ghosted her. One even blocked her. Another called her and said, "My pastor prayed with me and I saw your face. Stay away from me." Chioma's charm was breaking, piece by piece. Meanwhile, in a small room in Lagos, Mrs. Afolabi knelt again. For 3 nights, she had been having disturbing dreams. In each one, a faceless woman stood between her and her husband, whispering sweet lies into his ears. But every time the woman came close, fire fell from the sky. That day, she fasted till 6 p.m. She wept and prayed, "God, any strange woman seeking to enslave my husband, let her plans backfire. Let disgrace visit her openly." She lifted her Bible and read, "No weapon fashioned against my marriage shall prosper." In Abuja, Chioma's back erupted into blisters. Her phone rang. It was one of her admirer's wives. "Listen to me," the woman said with venom. "If you think you're the first pretty face in Abuja, you're mistaken. Keep breaking homes and see if what you're using doesn't kill you one day." Chioma hung up and stared at her reflection. Her beauty was beginning to betray her. Her lips had darkened slightly. Her palms showed strange black dots. Something was going wrong. Chioma barely recognized herself anymore. The glow that once made heads turn had dulled. Her eyes were sunken. Her once radiant skin showed patches of discoloration, and her back constantly ached. She could no longer sleep comfortably. Each night brought visions of snakes coiling over her, whispering things she couldn't understand. 3 more men had suddenly withdrawn from her life. One, a senator, sent her a final message. "Whatever you're using, may it backfire 100-fold. My eyes are open now. Never contact me again." Her father, sensing the sudden reversal, grew restless. "What's happening to you?" he barked over the phone. Didn't I warn you not to go near married men covered by powerful women? It's one man, Chioma whimpered. One man I couldn't break, and now everything is falling apart. That's all it takes, he replied bitterly. Just one. The worst was that she had seen Afolabi again. He looked even more radiant, stronger, happier. His wife had come to visit again, and Chioma saw them laughing outside together. She wept that night, not because she had lost money, but because she realized she had never been powerful. She had only been permitted. One Friday afternoon, Chioma stood at the balcony of her uncle's estate, watching as Engineer Afolabi stepped out with his wife. The woman's presence was like a spotlight exposing Chioma's filth. Suddenly, as if drawn by invisible force, the wife turned and looked straight at Chioma. Their eyes locked. The woman didn't frown. She didn't curse. She simply smiled softly, as if to say, I see you, but you can't win. That smile haunted Chioma for days. Later that night, Chioma fell into a deep, painful sleep. In a dream, her father appeared with the black substance, trying to smear it on her again. But each time, a hand slapped his face away. Then the voice of a woman boomed from the sky. You shall no longer touch the daughters of Zion. Return to where you came from. She woke up gasping, sweating profusely. Her back had blistered so badly she could barely stand. She screamed for help. Her uncle rushed in and took one look at her back and froze. Chioma, what is this? She said nothing. The scars had opened up. The black substance was oozing. She was writhing from the inside out. Under the pressure of pain and shame, Chioma confessed everything to her uncle. The charms, the scars, the instruction from her father, how she had been living off married men and using their money to build houses. Her uncle stared at her in horror. Chioma, how could you bring this evil into my home? I didn't mean to. Papa said it would help. I just wanted to make him proud. I wanted to make everyone proud, she sobbed. He called her parents. Her mother cried on the phone. Her father stayed silent. Don't return to this village if you're coming with disgrace, he finally said. 2 days later, she collapsed at work. Her skin was breaking out in open sores, and her vision blurred every time she stood. They rushed her to a hospital. The doctor found no illness but said, this isn't medical, this is spiritual. I suggest you find a pastor. Back in Lagos, Mrs. Afolabi was still praying. Her husband had never told her about Chioma, but her spirit had long caught wind of the battle. One night, while praying, she felt a divine instruction. Pray not only for your husband, pray for the girl too. She obeyed. That night she prayed, Lord, wherever she is, open her eyes. Let her know you love her. Even if she used evil, show her mercy. That night, Chioma had another dream. She stood at a crossroads. Behind her was a dark pit, whispering money, luxury, and power. In front of her was a narrow road, lit by a strange light. A woman in white, face glowing, stood at the edge of the light. You have 2 options, Chioma. One leads to death, the other leads to life. But I'm not clean enough. Grace does not ask for perfection. It asks for surrender. When she woke, she broke down in tears. That morning, she asked her uncle to take her to a church. The church service was simple, filled with young people, nothing fancy, but the prayers were intense. As the pastor prayed, Chioma began to scream uncontrollably. She fell to the floor, her body convulsing. Her blouse tore at the back, revealing the still blackened scars. One woman laid hands on her and declared, whatever entered through those marks, we reverse it now in the name of Jesus. Immediately, Chioma felt something leave her body. She cried as if her soul had been washed. When the service ended, she sat at the back exhausted, humiliated but at peace. She later wrote a letter to Mrs. Afolabi anonymously and sent it through her husband. "Thank you, I don't know you, but your prayer saved me from self-destruction. I once tried to take your husband from you. Now I'm asking God to give me my own life back. Thank you for praying. Don't stop praying for women like me." She moved out of the estate and left Abuja for a smaller town, where she started again from scratch. No charm, no sugar daddies, just grace. The scars never fully vanished, but they no longer hurt. They reminded her every day, you were saved, not by beauty or power, but by a praying woman.